So the people who are participating this Zoom meeting, as you know, that Zoom have got a maximum capacity limit. This particular login can connect up to 990 people. So if you have student friends of yours who are not willing to join through Zoom, you can help them by sharing this YouTube live link so that they can join the session. The YouTube live link is there in the chat box. The people who are joining from Ramakrishna Mission, you can also share this YouTube live link to your friends if they are not able to join from the WhatsApp group. We'll start shortly. We will wait for another just 1 minute or 2 minutes for a few more people to join, and then we will start. Be with us for a few minutes more, because I'm getting call for different part of people. They are joining YouTube live. So our today's eminent guest speaker has already joined, but I will introduce him after 2-3 minutes, because some more people are joining, sir, for different part of the country. We are having south, east, north, west, all part, even extreme northeast also joining with us. So we'll wait for a few more minutes and then start. Yes, Benita. Hello, everyone. I request again that all the participants, please put yourself on mute. We will open the session for question answer at the end, and you will have the privilege to ask direct question to sir and get your doubt clarified. We'll wait for 1 more minute and then start. So we have around close to 200 people in the Zoom link, and as per the report concerned, there are another 200-300 people already joining in the YouTube live. We'll keep on updating on that. So formally welcoming all of you to our Masterclass Career Charcha. Before we start, let me give you a brief introduction about this initiative. Wadhwani Foundation, being a philanthropic organization helping youth to build a family sustainable livelihood, to grow in life, to build a bright career and future, we think that is very important that people like you who are aspiring youth, job aspiring youth, who are the youth with lots of passion, dream in their mind and wants to do something big in life, it's our responsibility to get connected with those HRs who in future may take your interview. And it's an opportunity that you are going to meet them before you actually face an interview. Masterclass at Career Charcha is an initiative of Wadhwani Foundation to bring the HR experts and our learner and students in the same platform, so that not only that, you can get to know about how you should prepare yourself and get ready for the job directly from the people who actually interview you, or who are actually shortlisting or screening you during the interview. So exactly what they are looking for, what they want you to do in your first job. At the same point of time, it's also an opportunity to learn about the latest. Please do not share your screen. Yeah. I request Bikram sir, if you can only restrict the screen sharing to the host and co-host, please. And Bikram sir, please make Amit sir as a co-host. So coming back to this initiative, ये initiative हम लोग के आप लोग को हेल्प करने के लिए, आप लोग को गाइड करने के लिए, और सबसे अच्छा और सबसे सही तरीका से गाइड वो हो सकता है कि जब आप एक HR हेड के साथ, HR लीडर, इंडस्ट्री लीडर के साथ मिलते हो. May request not to share the screen. I'll request Bikram sir, please disable screen sharing right from all others.
So, please.
Right. Thank you, sir. And please make Amit sir as a co-host.
So done, sir.
Great. So I will not take further time because 200 plus people have already joined here, and I'm sure over 300, 400 people are already there in YouTube channel. Many of the places it is getting telecasted in the class, but unfortunately we are going through probably the third wave of COVID, and hence many of the school colleges are closed. But today is a great opportunity. You know, whenever we get challenged, you have to find some opportunity out of it. Today there is a challenge. The opportunity is the digital platform. So we are studying in digital platform. We are doing our employability program in digital platform. And today I'm very, very happy to announce that we have got an extremely important and valuable motivator with us. His name is Amit sir. Amit sir is having a huge experience in the industry. He is there in the industry over 15 years, working in international brands, national brands, heading operations, sales, HR, training, several verticals during this 15 years of his experience. And the best part is that he's a great motivator. He understands youth. He understands how to be given the right kind of input to the youth so that they can become successful. And he is there here to give us the kind of his great presence and great presentation to all of us. At the end of his presentation, which is majorly focused, as you have seen the posters, is majorly focused about the industry, what this industry look for. So he will be talking in general about what an HR is looking, or HR looking for in the first job, how you should prepare yourself for the first job. And then he being a expert in the healthcare sector, national as well as in the international arena, we'll request him also to keep his focus a little more on the healthcare segment. We have got a lot of people doing our Wadhwani Foundation employability programs, our GDA programs, our phlebotomy programs, and many of our partnering organization also doing lots of healthcare programs, and healthcare being a big industry today in India. So with this formally, I'd like to welcome Amit sir. Amit sir, namaste. We're really thankful for giving your time in a working day, especially a day which is the second day of the week. I know how busy you were, but we're very thankful that you have considered our request and you have decided to give few minutes or few hours, rather a 1 hour time to our youth. And I'm sure this 1 hour can be a very, very valuable input for all the youth who are here in this Zoom link as well as in our YouTube channel. With your permission, we are recording this session of yours so that the people who are missing today, we can upload this session in our global channel so that students across the world can see and get benefit out of it. Sir, over to you, and welcome to our Masterclass session 2.
Yes, thank you, Devi sir, for such a warm welcome and a brief introduction. I am really happy to know about the participants, more than 250 participants on the Zoom itself, and many more on the YouTube. Thank you for giving a platform where we can reach to the upcoming leaders, I would say. Today they are the youth, but in future, after 10 years, one of them would be becoming the leaders of the industry. With this, I would like to share my experience with the youth. I hope you are able to view my screen.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible. You can put it in the slideshow mode. We can see that.
Yeah. So as Devi sir said, good evening to everyone. My name is Amit Thakkar. I have spent my almost 15 plus years in the healthcare sector. I would be giving you a brief introduction about how the healthcare sector works, which are the different bodies who comes together and form the healthcare sector, what are the employment sources in the healthcare sector, what kind of skills we would be looking for. So this is what the presentation would be briefing you about, what makes the difference in the first job, important skills would be requiring to shine in the job interview, how to shine in your first job, which is a very crucial and a break point for your career, and understanding basically how the job market works. This would be the core agenda. Before I completely initiate with my presentations, I would like to give a brief introduction of myself. My name is Amit Thakkar. I'm 36 years old, spending more than 15 plus years into the pharmaceutical and into the medical devices. I've got almost 10 years of domestic market experience where I was looking after the India business, where we have launched many research products, the pharmaceutical research products into the Indian market. And in the international market, I majorly work into the Europe, Asia, and the Middle East region. I worked with companies like GlaxoSmithKline, where we have launched the Glaxo's research molecule in the antibiotic range. AstraZeneca, where again, it was a research-based company where we have launched the cardiovascular and the diabetic product portfolio. Merrill, it's an Indian medical device company based in Vapi, where it was manufacturing the class 3 of medical devices, specifically into the cardiovascular, into the interventional, orthopedics, and to the diagnostic business, where I was heading for the Europe business. And at the moment, I'm working with Shalya, which is known by the brand name of Shalya. The company name is Excellence Medical Technology, where I'm a business head and I'm looking after the entire international operation. So that was a brief introduction about myself. Let us look basically what is healthcare sector. Devi sir, at any point, if anybody wants to raise the question, I'm quite open. Or if you want to go it at the end of the session, I'm also okay with that.
Sir, we have framed like this, that end of the session, there'll be a 15 minutes time. Okay. But in between, if anybody feels that they need to ask some question, they can write in the chat box. And there are a lot of questions also will be coming from YouTube channel. So we will take it last 15 minutes. Sir.
Perfect, perfect.
Thank you.
Yes. So I will go with the flow. So the healthcare sector, basically what it includes is not just the hospitals, but it also includes the business who is supporting the hospitals, like medical devices, pharmaceutical companies. Before any product launched into the market, it is being well tested. So the first test goes to the animal testing, then it goes to the human trials, and then it goes to the number of populations of the different geographic. And then the post-approval, the success rate of the device, then the product launches into the market. So there is 5 to 7 years of journey into the clinical trial. Then there are certain portions of the business which is supposed to be outsourced. Nowadays, the telemedicine is picking up. Medical tourism, specifically in India, it is growing a lot. We have got increase in the healthcare insurance and the medical equipments. So all to these together, they support to the hospital business, and that's how the healthcare system forms. So in India, if I talk about the healthcare systems, India is projected to reach 372 billion in this year. Along with the private sectors, even the government of India and the state government, they are investing a lot to improve the healthcare system within the India. Specifically after COVID, we have seen how many developed countries, even countries like France and Italy, their healthcare system has at the moment collapsed. We were lucky with the great leadership. Our healthcare system didn't collapse. We were quite fine enough. And if I talk about the global healthcare spending, again, it is forecasted to be increased by 9.3 trillion in this year. At the moment, last financial year, it was somewhere around 8.5 trillion. This year, it is expected to be 9.3 trillion. And even the governments of each country, they are trying to spend more on the healthcare sector. So you can see the next major boom which would be coming would be from the healthcare sector, which would be the healthy life of the people. So I will give you a brief overview of basically how the healthcare system works in India. In India, healthcare has become one of the largest sectors, both in the terms of the revenue and in the terms of employment. Almost more than 7 crores people are working directly or indirectly in this sector. The hospital industry in India accounts almost for 80% of the total healthcare market, where specifically post-COVID, we have seen a huge collaborations between the public and the private sector. So now we have got an investor. After the COVID, the government has allowed 100% FDI. FDI means the foreign investors. They can 100% invest in building up the infrastructure. So you will find a lot of infrastructure would be coming. Yes, Manish, you have read the question.
Okay.
Manish, you raise your hand.
Manish, will you take your question at the end of the session? Will it okay? And still, if you have any very important question to ask in between, you give it in the chat box. Otherwise, we will give you opportunity during the question answer session at the end. Please write in the chat box. Otherwise, we will disturb the flow of presentation flow.
So not only the foreign investor would be helping to build the particular infrastructure, one of the most prominent and the growing sector, I would say, even if you look at the globally, many countries, their economy is shrinking, but none of the government is trying to reduce their expenditures on the healthcare sector. And in fact, in India, healthcare sector is showing the highest growth in the double digit, which would be 16 to 17% year on year. Again, if I talk about the Indian medical tourism, initially it was majorly focused into the Europe and the US. We have seen many of in the past where the rich people used to travel to these countries like Europe and US for the better treatment, which was nothing but a medical tourism. Now, with a highly skilled workforce within our country and the kind of global world-class infrastructure which we are building, we expect Indian medical tourism to be increased. At the moment, our medical tourism size is of $5 billion, and it is expected that this year it would be offering a growth of almost 50 to 60%, which would be going to $7 to $8 billion. Two of the major reasons would be the highly well-trained medical professionals which we have, along with the supporting staffs. And the cost of the surgery in India, it is almost 1/10 compared to the developed markets. So you will find a lot of individuals or the citizens from globally, they would be traveling to India for the better treatment. Then the diagnostic industry, as you all know, diagnostic is nothing but basically when you offer your bloods or the samples for the testing purpose, for the reports, that is called the diagnostic industry. The diagnostic industry is also going to be increased, and it is expected to reach to $4 billion in this year itself. The primary care industry, which is basically your first point of contact, where you see the nurses, your dental hospitals, or your nearby GPs, they are organized as well as unorganized sector. They are supposed to be achieved, or I would say they would be having a revenue generation of $13 billion. And the health insurance, again, one of the prominent people are getting more and more aware of the importance of the healthcare insurance. Before that, people were only buying the term insurance. Term insurance, something which your family gets after you die. But nowadays, because of very well awareness of the health, importance of the health, people are investing more on health insurance. And also the government is also investing onto the individuals, on the underprivileged people who are unable to buy the private insurance. So in corporate world, every company has been, it's a must where every employee should be insured with a minimum value of 50,000 up to 5 lakhs. Again, in the insurance sector also, healthcare insurance is the second most largest portfolio, and it is growing with an exponential double-digit rate of 18% YOY. So let us look basically what advantage India has. So we have got a strong demand with a huge population of 140 million. Our healthcare market is supposed to be grown by almost 17 to 18%. And as we have seen earlier, every year on year, we would be expecting more than 50 lakhs direct or indirect employment from these particular sectors. Government is investing a lot in the terms of attracting the foreign investors to help us with the building the infrastructure. And also government is spending 3% of the entire GDP onto the healthcare sector. Initially, I would say it's a very proud moment basically for us that because of COVID, initially it was supposed to be expected that only developed countries would have prepared the vaccines. Majorly the vaccines has came from in the past from USA, from Europe, and from Russia. But this time India has taken the lead, and we have offered 2 vaccines to this world. And not only we have protected our own people, but we have given it to more than 100 countries as a kind of charity, as a kind gesture to safeguard the world. This kind gestures has really put India into the world map of the medical facility. Again, our rising manpower, English-speaking population, we have got a well-trained medical professionals, and also the education systems, which our government is building, and many other private non-profitable organizations are trying to build, which will increase our skilled workforce.
Sir, I will just would like to take 1 minute time. There's a very interesting question has come down in the this thing, our YouTube channel. So some of the youth are saying, yes, sir, is this sudden abnormal growth, abnormal development, which never used to happen before in the country, and today happen, I must say, thanks to COVID pandemic. Is it not? Is it opening a job opportunity for healthcare student or for a big chunk of youth who may be from accounts, maybe for finance, maybe from marketing, maybe from a little bit of software background, scripting, data analytics? Are they also getting equal job opportunity due to this huge growth of or development of the healthcare? I just stop in between. Sorry for that, because it's a very interesting question came in between.
Yes, that's a very interesting question. But I put it in another way. Because of the COVID, people are now got aware. Prior to that, also we had many healthcare issues. You must be not aware of that. That India is the world's capital in the diabetic patients population, and there are many other diseases which comes across due to the lifestyle, the food habits, because of the stressful lifeness. There are many other diseases which comes across. And if I talk about the India market, of course, post-COVID, there is a certain surge into the specific medical segments or into the specific products. But if we look before to that, India was importer of many goods like PPE kit, N95 mask, many medical devices, many medical class 3 devices, I would say. But now, post-COVID, because of the challenges into the import, our entrepreneur, our businessmen, they have also started to manufacture it within India. And now we are one of the prominent exporters. So post-COVID, we have understood that only import of the products is not going to help. We have to be self-reliant. And that's why many of our leaders, they talk about the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And again, post-COVID, I would say, yes, there would be surge majorly into the technology part, where we talk about the telemedicine. Prior to that, people were quite reluctant into the belief of the telemedicines. Even if we talk about the schools, previously the schools were there, but nowadays, because of the technology, school is also done through remotely. So that doesn't mean that prior to that, there was no much of booming, or this is surge boom into the medical sector. It is the awareness of the people which has created the particular industry, and also the kind of technology which we have gained over years of time. Now we are manufacturing these devices within India itself. Also, if I talk about the government initiative, initially, if you remember, 4 years back, the stent was being imported to India. There were very few manufacturers in India who were able to make the stent. Stent is some kind of metal which you put into the heart artery so that heart artery doesn't get blocked and that heart attack doesn't happen, person doesn't die basically. So after putting that particular, initially that stent used to cost 4 to 5 lakhs. But after the government initiative, the stent prices have been made into the control, which is a DPCO. It came into the price control, and now it is costing just 25 to 30,000. Initially, the medical was out of reach to the common people. Now, because of the price control and the strong government investment as well as the private people investor, the medical is now in reach with the middle class as well as with the lower class. And hence, you will find a good surge into this particular business vertical in the healthcare sector. I hope I was able to give a brief idea of basically how the industry has coped up.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this. I just thought of this a very interesting question. And what confidence you are giving to us is that it's not only medical industry. It's not only a part what we know as maybe hospital, nursing home, or maybe manufacturing industry. There's a huge fintech because of everybody now going for a health insurance. Every company is giving a hint to it. There's a huge technology platform. So the people who are doing different softwares, they're doing analytics, they're doing ERPs. There is also a big supply chain management to maintain. Like, as you mentioned, that the gigantic work the government of India is doing, maybe historic work by giving more than now 1.5 million people vaccinated. So that it also needs a huge supply chain or back chain management system, so that technology people also get an opportunity.
Correct.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this. Sorry to intervene in between. So please continue.
No worries. Then we also nowadays we are seeing a lot of investment which is coming from the artificial intelligence, which Devi Prasad rightly mentioned about the ERP and other health records. Initially, if you look, there was a prescription pattern, but nowadays everything is digitalized, where you, from the specific file itself, you can entirely check the patient's history, what kind of treatment he has went into the past, and what kind of treatment he is going to get in the future. We have also seen the awareness, and you will find many of the technologies like mobile and the wearable devices, where you can monitor your heart rates, your oxygen thermometers, all those kind of details. Then we have got in robotic surgeries too, which we are finding a lot of investment. At the moment, there are only 2 companies globally who are investing on these robotic surgeries. But I'm very happy to say that there are 6 companies within from India who would be coming up with these robotic surgeries. And you will find a lot of employments which would be urging from these robotic surgeries, because robotic requires the raw material of the metals, and these metals would be extracted from the natural resource. So a specific industry when grows, it also supports to the other industries, specifically with the skilled workforce, with the raw materials, with the logistic partners, with the finance, and the legal prospects. And we talk about the global overview, the global healthcare, as we have seen, they're spending they're spending more into the healthcare segment, specifically after the COVID-19. The specific budgets are being allocated just because of this pandemic. Even their economics are shrinking because of their own lockdown, self-imposed restrictions, yet they are spending more onto the healthcare sectors. And not only this, the governments, initially, if you look at the Europe, they were 100% public driven, like 100% government hospital. But now they too are allowing the private people to come into the market and cater this particular healthcare sectors. The global healthcare spending is supposed to be increased by almost 9.3 trillion in this year itself, which would be offering a growth rate of 8.56. And they expect year on year, the growth rate would be continuing. So before we come to basically what's there in for us, I would like to set a tempo basically with a few motivational quotes where basically it says how we basically should look into it. So education is not just learning the facts, but it is about training the mind to think. Many of us feel that I'm not so highly qualified, so I won't get that kind of job. It's not like that. Education just helps you, it basically trains your mind to think in a particular way, which can be learned even without education with a proper network. And everyone is aware of the history of the Albert Einstein. He himself was being, I would say, removed from the school, but yet because of his strong willpower and highly skillfulness, he has become one of the renowned fraternity. One beautiful quote which I like personally the most: the best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. The more you learn, the more you will earn, because the market responds to the skillful people. So always work, always invest your time, your money, your skills onto learning new skills. The future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in a creative ways. So always adhere those skills which can be combined and into the creative ways. And finally, it's in every individual that attitude is the little things that makes a real big difference in the life. So what makes the difference in the first job? Basically, your first job will give you the job of the realizations. If I talk about my personal own experience, I started my career into the automobile industry. But over a period of time of 6 to 8 months, I realized that this particular job, I'm not just working for the money, but it's for my career. And I wanted something to do, something in real in my life. And that's how I joined the medical industry. So your first job, even though if you're qualified, if you're coming from the school, college, You will not be clear on what to do in the life, but during your first job process, you will get that realization and the clarity of what you want to achieve in your career. Let your work talk about you rather than you talk about more of yourself. You will have to give it all you have in your first job so that you get noticed. You will learn many new things. The textbook life, or I would say the college or the school life, is quite different than the real life. And during your first job, you will learn the real skills and the facts of the life. It may not be perfect job. Very few lucky people they get the perfect job within the first shot itself. But there is nothing wrong. Even if your first job is not an ideal one, I myself have changed around 6 to 7 jobs, and then I understood what basically I wanted.
Sir, I have a request, sir. If you can stay on the slide, and I request sincerely to all our learner friends, the friends who are studying here, my brothers and sisters, please copy this screen, because these are the 5 golden rule which sir said, which we need to follow, because we are going to hit our first job soon. We are going to get ready for our first job soon. We are going to shine in our first job. So this is a wonderful, this might be 5 lines for you, but this actually are 5 pillars which can make our career successful. So it's a wonderful site which sir has explained. Please take a screenshot if you're on the phone, or you take a screen snap, whatever, because this you should print and put on in front of your table and see it, because this is coming from Amit sir's desk, and this is what he wants to see in every people who are joining his company as a fresh talent. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sorry for holding you the slide here.
Thank you, David sir, for emphasizing on these points. I totally agree with your point that these are the 5 pillars. So coming to the next slide, basically, what are the important skills that would be required for you to be noticed by the recruiter? As you know, like when we apply for a job, there are already 40, 50 applicants who are applying for the same position. So how do you differentiate yourself that you get noticed? Nowadays, of course, your resume should be attractive. All those things would help you to reach to the platform where you can talk with an interviewer. But once there is a face-to-face interaction, at that time, the real interviews basically starts. So one of the most prominent skill which is required in the today's world is the communication. You should have I won't say you should have an excellent communication, no need to use a lot of English jargons, but communication is basically where you express yourself in a very proper way. That's only the communication needs. This is not about talking in English or using the high fundu jargons, high fundu language. It's all about expressing yourself in a proper way. That's all communication is all about. Then understand the company which you are going for, understand its commercial awareness, what kind of product they are dealing, how is their business model, how many employees they are offering, what are the areas of the business that they are doing, who are their vendors. Try to gain as much knowledge about the company, which will help you to understand the company's culture. And once you understand the company culture, you will easily crack down the interviews. And even the interviewer would be happy to know that you have done a lot of research about the company, and he would be very clear that you know what are you applying for. Then you should always demonstrate the skills of teamwork, because in a business, it's never an individual person who works. It's always the teamwork. So you have to show during the interview that you are a team player, especially for your first job. Of course, once over a period of time, once you gain the skills, you can talk about the leadership skills. But initially, for the first job, you have to stringently stick to the teamwork skills. Adaptability, you have to show the adaptability skills. You have to always go with a positive mindset. Even if a specific interview asks any questions which you are not aware of it, or even if you don't know the answer, there is nothing wrong in saying I'm not aware of it, sir. I can work on it. But never give the false information, just trying to dodge the questions. There is nothing wrong in saying no, I'm not aware of it. And that's what basically the recruiters looks into it. Even if you're not aware, they will train you so that you get that kind of skills or that kind of informations. In my past year, in the last year, 2021, I have taken more than 700 interviews. We have recruited more than 150 people. And the only thing which we were looking, of course, skills, everything we can make people learn. But two things. One is the attitude and the second is the behavior. These things comes within yourself. So always be positive, have proper approach, have a right attitude, do your lot of homeworks before you go for an interview, learn more about the company, and always demonstrate the confidence. There is nothing wrong even if you are not so confident, but it would be great advantage if you can demonstrate your confidence with your past achievements. Always keep one of the common questions which we ask oftenly is tell me about yourself. So always prepare a well draft about how you can betterly express yourself, about your skills, about your past achievements. Even if it's a first job, you must have done certain activities in your schools, in your colleges, or in your surroundings, even in your societies also. So always try to put down, be as much expressive as you can when it comes to the question of tell me about yourself. And finally, most important, you have to be self-motivated. Always have a gentle smile and keep yourself motivated. Even if there is an rejections, don't be get disheartened. The things will move on. So any Devi Prasad, if you want to throw some any lights on these points.
Sir, we are very thankful to actually telling this point, because we as an educator also, we try to explain our young friends that these are the couple of 7 skill set, right? So दुनिया में अगर 7 अजूबा हैं, तो these are the 7 ajubas that we need to create or build inside us, what Amit sir said. And I'm sure, as Amit sir said, that 700 interview and 150 acceptance, right? 150 selection. So please understand, it's not a very easy cakewalk, right? It needs a lot of effort, which sir is saying. We are so thankful. Generally, we never got an opportunity to industry leaders to come and say this, but this is the 7th thing he is looking for in a freshers to become successful. Sir, fortunately, the job rise program or job ready program that we do in different channels of ours, we try to cover all of them. Maybe the names are a little different, but it covering everything. So you are actually giving us the confidence that we are putting our effort in the right direction. And I'd like to tell all the youth here, please take this as importantly as sir is saying, like your hard skill. If you're doing financial accounting, if you're doing maybe Python programming, this is also equally important. If you're doing GDA or nursing, this is also equally important. Because I'm not saying it. It is been told by the industry leader is saying it. So when something is said by an industry leader, they're saying from the place where you are supposed to go and work with. So I think it's both the slide, a wonderful slide, and it's a lot of learning for us also. Thank you, sir. Please continue.
So let us look basically, once you get into the job, what are the skills you should demonstrate, or what kind of attitude should you belong? Once you have been selected, always do the research, more in-depth research about the companies, how is the organization structure, how is the flow of the organization. Nowadays, we are very lucky that because of the digital platform, you will find a company's website, a lot of neutral portal where you will find the companies, the employees are giving feedback to the company. How is the culture? So always do a lot of research about the company, about your job roles, what kind of roles would be expected. Once you join the company, always try to find a person within the company who can help you, who is your well-wisher, who can be your buddy, who can offer you the hand-holding. Because your immediate line manager, he will offer you just the task, that this is a task to be done. But your colleagues, who would be at the similar designation or the similar position like you, they would be actually giving you the tips and the tricks on how to betterly do the job. So always find a good buddy, be in touch with your immediate line manager, immediate supervisor. As I told earlier, keep yourself, your introduction in a very crisp, very clear, and in a very expressive way, so that the opponent person, first impression is the last impression. It is said very nicely. In the corporate world, that's true. That if you introduce yourself very nicely in the first go, there is a high chance of success rate. Be open to the new ideas. Even sometimes you will find that the position for which you have applied for may not be what you are looking for. But trust me, the person who is taking the interview, of course, he looks into the company's requirement too. But over the years of experience, he also knows what kind of skills you would be fruitful for. For example, there was one guy who had came to me in my company in the terms of just for getting a job into the logistics. But when I looked during my discussion, I found that this guy can be an excellent person in the marketing field. So we have convinced him and we have recruited him as a management trainee in the marketing, while he had came with a perception of the logistic executive. So the recruiters basically during the time of interview, we understands your skills. Sometimes as an individual, you may not be aware of what kind of skills you have it, but it is the recruiter's eye who can easily find what kind of skills you can be advantage for you and for the organizations. So always be open for the new ideas. Even if your line manager suggests you something to try out of the way, go for it. The first job is always a great learning school for you. Practice extra self-care. Always be hygienic. Always wear the proper clothes in a proper way. Ensure that your shoes are properly shined, your dress are properly ironed, your hairs are properly combed. These are small, small things which will create a good impression in the front of your supervisor, on the superiors. Always arrive early, 15 to 20 minutes early before your job times. This is a basic rule of the discipline which every organization looks for. And trust me, there is a penalty for that if you do not reach to the office on time. If your office timing is 9 o'clock, ensure that you reach to office by 8:45, because once you are traveling from a distance, you reach to the place, it takes approximately 10-15 minutes of your own time to settle to your job desk or to your job roles. So always try to reach early. Don't be afraid to ask the questions, specifically for your first job. There is nothing wrong in asking the questions. Considering your first job, your line manager, your supervisor, your colleagues within the organization, everyone try to help you to understand your roles. But yes, over a period of time, after 4-5 years, once you become the industry leaders, you will not have that similar opportunity to ask the questions, because then at that time your role would be to help the new colleagues. So this in the first job, don't be afraid. Have the clarity. If you are not clear with what roles you are supposed to be performed, ask it again and again. Your line manager, your supervisor will not consider it as something unsupportive. And finally, always try to meet your manager one-to-one, as he would be observing your job, basically how you are performing, and he can help you in improving your skills. So these are the few tips from my side on basically how to shine in your first job. So let us know. Yeah, Devisa, you wanted to say something?
No, sir. Absolutely did, sir. Absolutely. Actually, I took this snapshot for everyone and posted to different group. And all my colleagues who are here handling different part of the country, kindly share this particular slide also with your different groups. I think it will be absolutely great helpful for them to prepare before they enter the job interview room. Thank you, sir. Sir, please continue.
So let us understand basically what is a job market basically, and what does it, how does it basically operates. So the employers, they are in a search of good employees who can add value to the business, while the employers, they are also looking for a job with a good companies. So it's always a win-win situation whenever there is a recruitment taking place. Again, as I told earlier, even in certain cases where you will find a certain skillful people, even like engineers, in between there was a phase during the 2008 economic slowdown where the IT industry has dropped down, the real estate has dropped down, there was a dot-com bubble. So the job market basically grows or shrinks based on the demand. It doesn't mean that your skill has gone outdated or something. At that particular moment, the skill may not be required, like during the dot-com bubbles. So always try to improve your skills, increase your skills as per the market, the forecast or the market demands. There are many job portals which would help you to connect with the right recruiters. Prepare your proper resumes in a very short and nutshell, which clearly talks about you. Portals like Naukri, Shine, Monsters, and if you are a very specific industries, like if you know in this company only I want to go and perform the job, you can visit to that specific company website and upload your resume over there also. Always use your own network within your family, within your friends, who are ideally connected or performing the job over there. They can help you with basically the job culture, the corporate culture, and they can help you with the proper companies. Nowadays, with the digitalization, even LinkedIn, there are many other formal websites where you can create your networks and you can connect with the right industry leaders who can guide you basically on how to perform or which company would be suitable for you. Always get connected with your well-wishers. I'm very happy that Vajwani Foundation is one of your well-wishers. I would say consider Vajwani Foundation as your godfather in basically helping you to stream your career, in building your skills, and work on your skills, your interest, and your passions, and connect your passions, skills with the market requirement. And this would be one of the key factors for success in your job. So that's all from my side, Devi sir. If you would like to add anything, I'm okay and I'm open for the questions.
Great. Thank you, Amit sir. We organize this kind of session regularly, but I think today's session is a very bit different than any other session that we have done, because today you have given us a very broader picture about what this healthcare industry all about and how promising industry it is going to be. Today we used to know that IT is there everywhere, right? And today it seems that healthcare is everywhere, whether healthcare in the form of building BFSI section, rebuilding it in the form of healthcare insurance, whether strengthening the gigantic work of vaccinations, maintaining data records, making the data record transferable to hospital. So all my friends out here who are doing data analytics, who are doing ERPs, who are doing Pythons, they are the people can get a huge opportunity there. So beside, we understand very clearly that healthcare does not mean, to be very frank, before your session, I was also not that clear that healthcare to me is nurses, doctors, pharmaceutical companies. But today you actually open everyone's minds, but healthcare means a big 20-30% business improvement for maybe national insurance, for doing the medical insurance. Today I find out, like just take an example, I find out that previously many companies were not giving insurance, medical insurance to the interns, right? Yesterday I was talking to some of the interns and they're so happy. I said, what happened? Sir, company has given us 1 lakh rupees medical insurance. And this 1 lakh rupees medical insurance means there is a chain of people who are also getting jobs. They are the fintech people. So we can get a complete picture that healthcare is going to lead. It's not only for the direct healthcare, it can give job for the technology, it can job of fintech, and it has got. And the second part, sir, you said really very impressive. And I'm sure everybody got motivated, and I can see a lot of people are talking. We are very thankful that we have got certain paramedical science institute also joining, and their lecturers and professors also joining. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir, for joining our session today. And they're also liking it. And the second part, that what exactly a student should do, how to prepare for the first job. I think that is the place where most of us does the first mistake, second mistake, and then we learn from our failure. But I think that the way you have explained us, we can minimize the failure. And what is our mission? You also rightly said that a sustainable livelihood we can give it to all. So I'm really thankful.
There is one more industry I missed
please.
basically.
Right.
Was the packaging industry. With the new norms coming in, even the pharmaceuticals, the medical equipments, they needs to be packed in a certain specific conditions, which is giving again a good, I would say, business opportunity for the packaging industry to grow. So as the pharma industry or the medical devices industry or the hospital industries will grow, similar to that, the other packaging industry, the logistic industry.
Are you talking about the term called cold chain?
Yes. So the cold chain is also one of the part where a specific the samples needs to be delivered, or the specific vaccine has to be preserved at a specific temperature. Again, in the cold chain, there are three kinds of business models. One is the liquid nitrogen, where the temperature needs to be kept in minus. There's a different packaging for that. Then there's a temperature of 2 to 8 degree. You basically use a specific slots by which putting in the gel, and you make the specific temperature for 24 to 48 hours. And again, to that, there is a data logger where you continuously monitor the temperature. So when there is a one specific shipment which is going, along with that, there are many other different sectors which basically helps the particular healthcare system to deliver the product which they want to deliver it.
Great, sir. That means, sir, I am finding out another thing. I was just thinking, we have got many people who are doing logistics, packaging, delivery, as well as logistic data control and all. So there is a huge opportunity for them also in that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, if you basically attire this specific, which I talked about, the basic hygiene, trust me, the companies like Blue Dart, DHL, FedEx, they are looking for the right people who can properly, are in a proper attire. They are ready to pay them higher fees to control or to deliver this kind of high value shipments. Trust me, these shipments are very high value and they want the right people to handle that particular shipments.
Wonderful. So maybe a very life-saving drug coming from Germany, and the company will take the complete responsibility to maintain minus 19-degree temperature from Germany to maybe Mathurapur somewhere inside UP. Wonderful. So I think that is another opportunity. So today, all my friends, you can see that the way as all problems comes with a challenge, and challenge has got hidden opportunity. So when we all are worried about COVID actually pushed us forward. I think 5 years, 10 years forward, and our systems are now getting world class, and we are actually looking forward a lot of manpowers which will be required in this field. So not only the medical organizations, paramedical science colleges, it's also IT, it's also fintech, those who are doing financial technology courses, and this is also about what Sir said, a high level, a different level of logistic supports with technology and all. Wonderful. So with that, we would like to now request Bikram sir, if you can give write the people to unmute themselves, video and audio. In that case, what you can happen, you can raise your hand and I will take you one by one, and you can ask question to sir. Although we have taken sir 1 hour time, so we have around 10 minutes left. He is a very busy person, and we are so thankful that he has given time in a working days, and that to almost a very critical hours of the day. So you can ask your questions by texting me, or you can unmute yourself, ask the question and mute yourself. By that time, I request Alan sir, is there any question in the YouTube? One I have already shared with sir. So any other question you can send me in Teams. Bikram sir, can you unmute? Bikram sir, can you unmute everyone? Give unmute rights to everyone. So let's then call like this. Anybody from Northeast? I can see a lot of people join from Tripura. So anybody would like to ask any question from Agartala side? Agartala, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar, Odisha. Any question from Eastern India? Then we'll move into the Northern India part. 2 participants raise their hand, please. Okay, you keep writing your question. I will keep asking sir. So the question here is, okay. If interviewer asks about salary expectation, then what would be the best response? Pushpita Gupta has asked for the question. So sir, she's asking that if you ask, I have gone to you and have given interview, and you're asking Devi Prasad, what is your expectation? So what should be the maybe she wants to say what should be the most politically right answer?
Politically, the right answer would be always say as per the companies and the industry norms, because this is your first job. You do not have much of bargaining power over there. And it's always good to show that the openness, that you are more keen in learning the skills, learning the job role, rather than focusing on the first job itself about the monetary benefits. Trust me, none of the employers wants you to come at a very low package, because they invest a good amount of energy on you to teach you basically. There is a 1 month of training, then they offer you 3 to 4 months of time period where there is a hand holding. So as a company also for us, it's not like we want someone to come at a low package and after 6 months he gets a better package and he leaves away. Even we want to retain that particular talent. So always the right answer, the right approach should be on the first job. It should be as per the company and the industry norms.
Great. Thank you. I'm sure it's a learning for me also, because many students, while I take a session, they ask like this. So I use the same word as per the company's structure, but you added a golden word to end as per the industry standard.
Yes,
I think that
yes.
that's a very important line I learned. Thank you, sir, because every masterclass is a learning for me and my team also. So next question, Shangita. Shangita, can you unmute yourself? Bikram, can you please allow Shangita to unmute? Because she has a very interesting question, and our question is about progression of career progression. Bikram, are you there? Bikram, are you there? Okay, let me unmute. Sangeeta, you can unmute yourself. Sangeeta, you can unmute yourself. Sangeeta, are you there? You are texting it. Yeah. No, you can unmute. Sangeeta, you can unmute. I have asked you to unmute. Unmute yourself. Are you able to unmute? I think yeah, Sangeeta, we can hear you. Sangeeta, unmute yourself. Sangeeta, are you there? She's there actually. Okay, sir. There can be some technical challenge because people are, many of them are doing it from mobile.
Just one question I read in between.
Right.
Someone was asking about my qualification. So I would just like to address that. I completed my graduation in BSc Chemistry, which was in the year 2005. And then I got into the job role. And after getting into the job role, after 3 years, I realized that I need to add more skills. So I invested myself while performing the job. Along with that, I also did my corresponding management in the marketing. So learning, I'm still learning many things. I'm still working onto the digital marketing course. So it's not like once you reach to a certain level, the learning ends. The learning always keeps continuing in the specifically after lockdown, after the COVID, we understood the importance of the digital marketing. And as a company, we have now specific department who looks into the digital marketing. So the learning always continues. Qualifications is okay. It's a basic part just to get you the entry. The real way to shine into the job or into the professional career is the skills. So always keep adding skills. Learning never stops.
What sir rightly said, I think that qualification you have to build. The days have gone when certificates have been taken as a qualification. Here, the qualification taken as experience. Experience makes you very, very different from others. So the Sangeeta's question is that Sangeeta, what if I understood correctly, Sangeeta is doing a GDA program, which for some reason she has joined, but she wants to grow very high. She wants to do something in the medical line. If she join a GDA job, the general duty assistant, the kind of job in a hospital or nursing home, can she upgrade herself and grow in the ladder and maybe become a floor manager or a kind of hospital manager?
Absolutely, absolutely. There are many hospital management courses which are being offered. And apart from these courses, you can also learn from the experience. When you get a specific job role, when I was in a marine life science, I was not just looking at my job role, but I was trying to learn from my colleagues also what they are doing. And in a business, as a situation comes where you get an opportunity to show your skills, and once you address that particular situation with your skills, by default, your management will look into it and will appreciate you with the new roles. So there are two ways going to it. Either you improve your qualifications by performing in a specific industry, if you're talking about the hospital management courses, for which specifically designation you are looking after, or you can update your skills and then you can reach, there would be an opportunity where you can demonstrate your skills to the management and then they will appreciate you. In the corporate, we call it as an appraisal, where basically you appreciate people by offering a better designation to them.
Great. Tanima madam, you are unmuted. You can ask
Very
your
good evening.
questions.
Very good evening and a very useful talk. Wonderful. Thank you very much for including us from the far northeast. And I have a very simple question that nowadays, like especially for the last 2 years, what we are facing, what we are getting a feedback from the students, and that whenever they're going for these interviews and all, we found that most of the experts, most of the interviewer, they're looking for people with at least 1 or 2 years experience, and that time sometimes the freshers are getting a bit demotivated, that like where the freshers will go then. That my question is, like, what do you think, like as an interviewer, because you have a big experience as an interviewer, my question is, what do you think that why this the interviewer and the employers, they are preferring are not preferring freshers anymore? That means definitely they are not finding the adequate skills in the freshers, or not adequate confidence on the freshers so that they can adapt the skills that they will teach in their training period. That's why they are seeking for at least 1 or 2 years experience. Do you think so? Or it is just a bad sampling?
I understand your question, Tarima. I would say that because of the COVID, there was an unfortunate and uncertainty into the business world also. Now, slowly, we have understood the business. There is nothing going to be shrink. Initially, if you see the complete lockdown, it was a challenge time for businessmen also. And it could be that because of that particular moment, there could be that mindset within the businessmen. But if I talk about my experience from the 125 recruitment which I have made, out of which almost around 70 to 80 people were freshers. And the only thing which basically helped me to recruit them was their thorough research about the company, about the job role, and basically how the system works. So as an experienced person, I would not say there is much advantage to them. Apart from this, they are very well aware of the techniques. And this is the only techniques where you understand basically what the company does, how does the industry is responding, what kind of product portfolio are being done. I gave you an example earlier about the marketing guy. He had came from a thought process of the logistics point of view, but he had done such a lot of research, and he has really thrown a good numbers about how the industry works. I was really amazed by that fresher guy, and I included that person into the marketing. So I would say yes, 2 years back there could be have been bad moments where the business were quite uncertain about the situation, but that's not the general business trend. People welcome freshers because the freshers, they come with a fresh mind, they come with a new thoughts, which every organization looks for. In fact, if I talk about the major global giants, they almost always every year they recruit around 15% fresher, because the fresher brings a fresh thought into the company.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm completely satisfied, and I think actually I asked the question so that some of the students and the whoever are like really freshers in the field, they should not get demotivated with the things. Yeah, I completely agree with you. The freshers should do research whenever they're appearing somewhere to interviews. They should have a complete clear idea that what job role they are applying for, and the place and the market, how it is working, and definitely then that's what can take them forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
And on behalf of you, I would like to tell everyone that don't get disheartened, even if you're missing out with couple of interviews. I got my first job after being rejected around 14 interviews. So it's quite normal process. In every interview, you learn things. Try to analyze from your own side about what additional you could have done, rather than thinking about the negativism or the criticizing yourself that you do not have that skills. Try to evaluate, and next in the next interview, avoid those mistakes and improve yourself. The success will come.
So it's just like a lock and key. Like you have to find exactly the right place where you fit, and they also have to find out the right key.
Correct, absolutely correct.
Yeah. So you have to we all have to keep on trying. Never give up.
Yes, never give up.
And Tarima madam believes on this phrase called never give up. She represents one of the very premier college of this thing, Agartala, and our students are just started programs there. So thank you, madam. Thank you for asking this very important
question. Thank you for including us.
That's our pleasure. And second question is very important. It has been asked in the YouTube channel. So the question is that इंटरव्यू में पूछा जाता है कि आपको क्यों हम लोग अपॉर्चुनिटी दें, why should you give you a chance or opportunity, then what should be the quote unquote some phrases, some words that we should mention?
Correct. So when the interviewer basically asks this question, in his mind, he has already decided that he wants you, but still he wants to listen from you that why he should recruit you. And at that time, the perfect key or the answer, what the interviewer would be looking after, would be your skills matching with the company's goal alignment. And along with that, the designation which you are applying for, your skills should match to the designations. So your precise answer could be that I assume that suppose, for example, if a person is applying for the logistics skills, then he can talk about that I am a traveler guy. I like to travel around. I'm talking about a very basic logistic part job role. And I'm not shy. I'm not bound by the time work. Because in the logistics, the major challenge.
Okay, 1 minute. I have unmuted you to ask the questions, but not to disturb others. So I'm putting everybody on mute. Anybody want to ask question can unmute and ask. Sir, you can unmute yourself and answer some once. Amit sir, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. So I was talking about you should understand basically the job role for which you are applying for, and try to match your skills with that specific job role, and try to understand the challenges which currently that job roles offers, and you try to put your skills about to the job challenges, and the success rate of your interview would be 99.99%.
I think it's a great input, and please understand this is input coming from the horse's mouth, so you can understand that this is what actually the industry leadership looks into. I have got a couple of more questions, but time is almost it's already done. I'll not be able to hold sir further. So what I can do, we are always there. So you all can write to us. You can all write to your respective connects in Wadhwani Foundation. We'll take the question back to Amit sir, and he will find out some time and revert back with us, and we'll again share. Amit sir, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your wonderful and mind-boggling presentation. I have learned. I'm sure everybody in the group has learned a lot, and we are looking forward to host you in coming months also, so that through you we can enlighten our youth and we make them ready for the industry. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Devi sir, for giving the opportunity and such a wonderful audience to whom I could have interacted. Just adding one last point about the resume part. How do you make a resume? Always try to put the specific role for which you are looking for, mention those skills. Because when a recruiter, as an individual, when I go onto the Naukri basically to find a good candidates, and I mention those skills which I'm looking for the specific job role. If I'm looking for a job role of marketing guy, I will use the word like analytical strategist. So try to use those kind of words in your resumes. It would easily be eye-catching for a recruiter like us, and there is a high chances that you could be called for the interview. So keep your resume short, crisp, with the great achievements during your college times, during your school times, of any other things, small activities which you have done. You can demonstrate in your resume. Always add the skills. Skills would be the key factor for deciding for us whom to recruit and whom to call for an interview. So with this, I'd like to end my session. Devi sir, thank you so much for calling me and giving this opportunity. Really appreciate and wish you all the best with your endeavor, and to all the audience, wish you all the best. Have a bright and a successful career.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Be safe. Take care. And sir, will be looking forward to host you maybe in coming months to cater to other part of the country. Thank you, sir. Thank you, every participant. Thank you, all the lecturers, professors, and our partners joined from across the country. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.